There's Floy. I can even see Floy. Hi, Floy. Oh, now I only have the top of her head. She's hiding. So did you have trouble getting on then, Jacob?
I didn't, but then Donnie texted me that she couldn't get on, so I logged out, and then when I tried getting back in, I had difficulties.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I usually just have the email up and I just click on
that
it.
link.
Yeah, you just click on the link and touch join, and I mean, the stuff's logical. I mean, I couldn't tell you what the steps are, but it's logical, and I just click, 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 and I'm in, you know, and it's like, yep, there he is. But tonight it was like the choice was phased out and it said to enter the ID. So I thought, well, I went back to my other computer, my main computer, and wrote it down and typed in that number. Then boom, it went. So Donnie didn't get in yet, though, huh? Participants. No, Donnie's not on yet.
No. It worked just fine earlier today.
Same ID?
Was it?
Same ID?
I think so.
Something, I know something recently you said you had a different ID for.
Yeah. Glenn gave me a different ID to use. I don't know why, but there's Donnie.
There she is.
It worked.
Yay, Donnie.
Yeah. It only took me 4 times. I'm not sure what was wrong with my computer.
Oh, it took me 5, so don't feel bad.
Oh, okay.
I had to hand type in the ID number, which is like 55 digits long.
Oh.
Only 9, but still it seemed pretty long.
That's what I was going to say. I did have to hand type. Yeah, 9 in there, but.
Yeah, I've never had to do that before, so something's different. Let's see, what are we doing tonight anyway? This is 10. Holy smokes. I believe tonight is home club. Wow, something. Sounds like somebody's taking a bath.
Wait for Linda to get on. I haven't heard anything else from her, so.
Get your hair cut?
Yes, I did. Fairbury looks snazzy for presenting this next week.
You bet. Gotta look cool. Did Linda say she was going to be on tonight?
I didn't hear either way, so.
Okay. I knew this was going to be a short one, you said.
It'll be shorter.
Shorter.
I don't have much information on it. But it is important information, though, as everything is, though.
Well, from reading through the forum, it sounds like those of us that are in multiple clubs, might be a little bit confusing. So I think this is really important to understand.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get out of all my clubs. It's like, Jacob, help us. Teach me, teach me.
We'll give her one more minute and see if we can get in. She gets in.
Oh, I've got a stopwatch beeping. So where's that at now? Oh, the international friends suitcase.
By the way, Donnie, when's the Division C meeting this month?
Let me look on my.
I have so many meetings I've kind of forgot what things are.
29th.
29th? Okay, that works.
Yep, what Claire said, the 29th.
Okay, it's 8:05.
Yep. And Floyd, we cannot hear you.
Is she muted?
I will unmute her.
She's not as the academic as Donnie and I.
Yeah. Well, she sent a message. Okay. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So select your home clubs, this week's topic. This is more applicable to members of multiple clubs, obviously. Okay. Go in here. There we go. Upcoming topics. Reminder, next week is going to be actually live at the conference on the 21st on Saturday, and also be available through Zoom. April 29th, following week, we'll kind of do some recaps of the basics for roll-up prep. Then May 6th, I am in Denver, relaxing and not doing anything Toastmasters. So May 13th, we'll have first week's issues. So we can iron out anything that may be going wrong. Okay, so the home club, the member perspective. You'll want this to, and this is more so if you're working one path of multiple clubs. Someone else just got in. Hi, Glenn. Okay.
Yeah, it's Glenn.
Yep.
Oh, I see his head.
Yeah. So, once again, this is if you're working one path in multiple clubs. You'll want to, what's this message coming in?
It was Floyd. Can anybody hear me? I just answered it and said,
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay, so you'll want to speak, whichever club you most recently give a speech in, so you can get the awards or the badges and the feedback, and whichever club you want to give the credit to for the progress. Now, say you're working two different paths at once, you wouldn't have to change this if you're on two clubs. Now, looking at this here, from the base camp manager's perspective. A few weeks ago, when we talked about base camp managers, we kind of looked at those graphs they can see for the progress in the club. They can only see that if the member has that club selected as their base camp. So I'll use Claire as an example, since she's a member of so many clubs. Say you switch your home club from strictly speaking Capital Voices, you would not appear in the progress for for strictly speaking once you switch your clubs over. But once, and that's why it's always important to refresh those graphs. Now let's see here. if a member has selected different clubs as their home club, then I'll be able to track the progress through the dashboard. That's kind of what I was saying. Big point here is if a member is part of more than one club, it's going to be important for them to communicate to all their clubs where they're in their progress. So like I said, where they can't necessarily see, your Basecamp managers won't necessarily be able to see the progress if they switch to home club. It's going to be important for them to know what's going on so they can plan things accordingly. Now, the perspective from other members, you'll only be able to search for fellow members who have selected that club as their home club. Let's see here. Then, once again, if you want to do the feedback or give badges, that's how you do that. It has to be for members in the home club. Let me just send an email. Just responding to Linda here. And so if someone wants to give feedback to a speaker who's not selected that club as their home club, they'll have to do it outside of Basecamp. So actually talk to them or send an email. So changing your home club. Once again, this will be important if you're working on the same path in multiple clubs. And you'll be able to change that home club on the Pathways Start page. And I have an example of that. Now here, when you go to the Pathways tab on the website, that's what you'll see. And then this drop-down menu here is you'll select the different clubs you're in. And that's also will be able to change your home club. At least that's what the Master Q&A document told me. Oh, hey, animation.
Woohoo.
Any questions about this? It's not as much, but it's important.
I think the important thing is to make sure that we understand because part of the reason we're a member of multiple clubs is to give us more opportunities to speak.
Yeah.
Because we can't speak often enough to make much progress in our home club, or even maybe in some cases in 2 clubs. So if we get this messed up, I mean, it sounds like it's doable, but it also sounds like you have to remember where you're at when you're in the system, so that you don't. So
yeah, and that's exactly right. You have to just remember to, if you know you're going to be speaking a different club that day, to switch it over so you can get the feedback and credit to that club.
That's the responsibility of the member to do that.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So
the managers cannot do that for the member.
You said the Basecamp cannot do that for a member.
No.
Okay.
It's entirely on the member to change their home club.
So if our home club is Capital Voices, and we know we're going to speak at Strictly Speaking, then we would go into the Pathways and change our home club from Capital Voices to Strictly Speaking. And that would allow us to get feedback for that speech.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Strictly Speaking.
And this will be something, once again, you'll see better in action once Pathways is rolled out on the 3rd.
Right.
The screen keeps changing on its own.
Oh, you're not doing all that?
No, I'm going backwards. I think PowerPoint's mad at me if I had at least 10 different sessions of PowerPoint open at once a week.
Oops. So Jacob, not to be nosy, but what days are you actually away from Toastmasters? Date-wise?
Let me look at my calendar because I keep forgetting my own vacation.
Oh, that's horrible.
We leave the 2nd, like at 5 o'clock in the morning. We drive back on the 6th.
Okay. And the rollout is on the 3rd.
It is on the 3rd, that Thursday.
Okay. That's good. Okay, speaking of changes to get...
Yeah, I mean, like I said last week, we are fully go for Pathways rollout May 3rd. And most people saying an email sent out early in the morning, letting know it's live. So that'd be exciting.
I don't think I'm going to be choosing anything right that fast. I want to look around.
Well, yeah. And we'll kind of address some different paths next week at the session.
On the 21st?
Yes.
Yeah. No, the 21st is at the conference.
Yes.
Okay. The name of the document with all the paths and cool information, that's a paths catalog thing?
Yeah, the catalog's a big, long document that everyone likes.
The 66-pager?
Yep.
Okay.
So it has the details of all the different projects.
Yeah, that's the key, I think. I read something about people opening things. It sounded like on the forum that somebody had opened a whole lot of evaluations so they could print them off for their club. And then they got all confused because they didn't, what was open and what was archived and how to find it once it's open.
Yeah, I can show you how that gets confusing.
Well, that's kind of alarming.
Well, here, I'll show you quick. Let me log in. Because I had the same issue when I was downloading different evaluations and projects for everyone. Because it opens up a new task for you to work on. And logging pathways will not be this intensive. I have to go the back route. Okay. So what they're talking about is when they go to education transcript, you get all these open tasks. Because when I show you the different videos and webinars, it opens up a new thing.
Oh, yeah. See, look at all that stuff.
Yeah. So what you'll actually see is this one right here has the books. That's the actual path. These are just different training resources. Now what I'll have you do is you can mark it complete. Let's do anything, and then that goes away.
But I think the person's point was then if they want to find that again, to look at it, then it's hard to find.
Well, if it's one of the evaluations, they'd go to tutorial and resources. And can you guys see the pathways screen I'm on right now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So tutorials and resources, evaluation resources, in whatever language you want. And they're all right there.
So if you wanted to print one out for somebody else, this is where you'd go.
Yep.
So this was tutorial. Can you go back?
Tutorial and resources.
Tutorial and resources. Okay.
Yep.
Donnie,
And
this is
everyone
going to
have
be.
access to these different evaluations.
Yeah, I can see this is going to be a very necessary one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Then you'll just have different resources available, tutorials, project descriptions, and also that navigator will be in here as well.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, you said we should all look at the navigator, right?
Yes, let's look through the navigator.
I'll put a star by that. Be sure to do that. I know question number 1 on the meeting right after the rollout, you'll probably say, how many have looked at the navigator?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I've got it.
Okay.
We just need to roll out so we can actually look at stuff.
Yep.
But you're positive if I go in there after we disconnect and I go ahead and start messing around and look at Basecamp and Navigator and then on May 3rd, if I go ahead and sign up, I can still use some of my legacy stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know last year they were saying we couldn't. Back when I was area director, they said you had to do one or the other. But
Nope.
apparently that's changed.
Yep, you can do both at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of.
Because if I go in there and I can't get back on my old stuff, I'm going to be really unhappy.
No, you'll be able to still work both at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think I'll call this meeting to a close.
There's no handouts for, right?
Yep, no handouts tonight.
Okay, I'll mark it.
And then, like I said, next session will be next Saturday at the conference.
And what time will you be getting there for Friday, Jacob?
Laura and I are leaving Lincoln at 1:30. So every time that puts us in Kearney.
Okay. Because we're going to leave Capital Voices, but we're going to run over and grab Gene Dyer. So that'll slow us down a little bit. But then we'll be on out. So we'll be behind you a little bit. So, okay, cool.
And I do have written down to bring the Flip 4 for your presentation.
Excellent. Thank you.
The Flip 4.
The speaker and
Microphone.
microphone.
Oh, that.
So, do you think I should bring it to your house Wednesday so we can pack it away in our...
Yeah, we can put it in the milk crate.
Okay.